Hello, and today we're going to be talking about the SBA Form 1919, which you can see the form number here on the footer. As always, make sure you check the expiration date of the form. That's using a non-expired form. You don't want to go through this whole process on an expired form and then they make you do it again. So be sure to check the date. Okay, the purpose of this form really is to collect additional information about the business and its partners, members of the company, to help determine the eligibility for financing assistance. There are some situations where you may not be eligible for the SBA financing. And so this helps gather some of that additional information. Anyone with 20% or more ownership of the company is going to need to fill this out. More importantly, the SBA may ask for key employees to fill this out as well. Some definitions here that you're going to want to read through and understand. Really, we start getting page 2 is where we start filling out the information. Okay, this is the legal name of the business, how it appears on the tax return, and is it OC, which is an operating company, or EPC, eligible passive company. You're going to click one of those boxes. Did you file DBA? It's going to be here. The principal address, tax ID, business phone, all this is pretty straightforward. Primary contact and the name. The amount of the loan request, so hopefully you've done your projections, you have an understanding of what the loan amount is that you need. That amount's going to go here, rounded nearest dollar. And understanding the owner, the employee count of your business. Understand that the SBA, we're looking at job creation, job growth, right? So how does this loan affect your ability to maintain your employees? Are we able to add employees because of this loan? The ownership breakdown is going to be here, and it needs to equal 100%. So even if there's someone who owns 1%, 5%, so if they're going to need to be listed here as well. They may not have to fill out this form, but they would be listed here in this area. Okay, next section. These are yes or no. You want to read through each question very carefully, answer truthfully. If you need to, provide additional documentation on a separate form. The first one, if there's co-applicants in each one of them, each person's going to need to fill out these sections, okay, 1 and 2. Some ones to pay close attention to. This section 4 here is about franchises. If you're a franchise, if you operate under a franchise agreement, you're going to want to click yes, and then provide the relevant documentation for the franchise. Any affiliates? Again, this is all from the business perspective. Okay, does the small business have affiliates? Okay. Is a small business or its affiliates involved in any pending legal action that you need to answer truthfully here? Has a small business ever obtained direct or guaranteed loan from the SBA? If yes, provide additional documentation. If you used a broker or someone helped you fill out this form, you're going to click yes on there, and they have their own form, SBA Form 159 to fill out. And then, are you involved in any of these activities? So if your business falls into these ineligible categories, then you may not be able to obtain SBA financing. So if you have any questions here, talk to your SBA loan representative. Next section here, it's true and false. So instead of yes and no, we went from yes and no questions to true and false. Anything that has a false check mark is going to need additional documentation. So read through these very carefully and understand that they're looking for the true statement. If this is true as it reads, or if it's false, then you need to click false and then provide additional documentation. Important to understand that this is a legal document, and that you have that under penalty for knowingly making a false statement to obtain guaranteed loan from the SBA may be fined and punishable in jail. So be sure that you're answering everything truthfully and to the best of your knowledge. Part 2 is the principal information. So everyone would then need to fill out this as individuals as well. Their name, social security number, date of birth, etc. This part here is you do not have to disclose this information, okay, but you do need to put an X there so to show that you had read through it and you chose not to disclose. And again, this is voluntary and has no bearing on the credit decision. It just helps them collect some information regarding those folks that are filling out these forms. 17, 18, 19 has to do with character of the individual. Most importantly, 17, if you're currently involved in any sort of criminal indictment or arraignment of some sort, you're going to need to get that settled first before you'll be eligible for SBA financing. 17 is critical. 18, just need to answer truthfully. Been arrested in the last 6 months for any criminal offense. And then 19 is ever. Have you ever been convicted, pled no contest, etc.? Again, they will find out. They will do background check. So be truthful here, answering in the negative here or no, and they find out otherwise, could subject you to more trouble. So best to just be truthful here and explain it, provide the documentation that they require, and you still may be eligible for SBA financing. Some additional yes or no questions. Are you a U.S. citizen or not, a permanent resident? That information's here. Important here, this is child support or other administrative order. If there's other payments that need to be made that you're making on behalf of a court order, be sure that to choose whether you're delinquent or not. Okay. These questions here, again, is you as an individual. Have you ever, a business that you controlled, or you yourself ever filed for bankruptcy protection? Again, if yes, more documentation may be required. 25 includes divorce. Are you presently involved in any legal action, including divorce? So any sort of separation or divorce agreement would need to be settled first before you'd be eligible for SBA financing. Okay. This is you as an individual. Have you ever obtained direct or guaranteed loan from the SBA? This would include student loans. Okay. Are you delinquent on student loans? Check the box and provide additional documentation as required. Okay, and the 5th page here, you're signing a signatory as an individual and attesting that the information that you provided is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, and punishable for knowingly making a false statement. And the rest of the pages just has some additional information about your right to financial privacy, etc. So read through there if you have any other questions. And that concludes SBA Form 1919.